Vakatunta Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste everyone. In today's session we are going to worship the very special auspicious Nama Kamakshi. The Nama Kamakshi is a Maha mantra, hence, no words can ever describe the greatness and speciality of this Nama. The only way to describe this Nama is to recite it in the exact same words of Acharya Mookar in Sri Mooka Panchashati as Kamakshi Nama kimapi Mama Bhagyam. It is our greatest Bhagyam, our greatest fortune to ever recite the Nama Kamakshi. That is how special this Nama is. Very, very special. And with the divine grace of the Jagat Gurus of Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam, we will recite this Nama Kamakshi. It is one of the Maha Mantrams, hence Vasinyadi Vak Devatas has given us a great blessings by letting us recite this sacred Maha Mantra Nama called Kamakshi. Kamakshi Nama kimapi Mama Bhagyam. One has to have greatest Bhagyam to recite the Nama of Sri Kamakshi. Sri Kamakshi, hence the deity for this Nama is Sri Kamakshi in Sri Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram. How did this city of Kanchipuram came into being? The story is that Devi was born as Daksha Prajapati's daughter. When Daksha does not give the proper share in the yajna to Lord Shiva and disrespects Lord Shiva, Ambaal did not want to be Daksha's daughter, and hence Ambaal leaves her body to merge with Lord Shiva. Shiva carried this body of the Devi as Sati and was unable to bear the sight of seeing his beloved in that state. That time, Sri Mahavishnu uses his Sudarshana Chakra and pierces the body of Devi. That Sudarshana Chakra makes Devi's body into 51 pieces. Each of those 51 pieces becomes 51 Shakti Pitas. That part of the Devi's body where the Udyanam or the Kanchi is adorned fell in the sacred city, and hence the city is called Kanchipuram, and it is the most powerful Shakti Peetham. In Saundarya Lahari, Acharya worships Ambaal with various namas throughout, but he does not explicitly tells the name of the Parabrahma Swarupini. He might say Himagiri Sute, he might say Janani. But in one sloka, Acharya hints us the Swarupam of Parabrahma Swarupini as Kwanat Kanchi Dama, she who adorns an Udyanam that makes jingling sound. So, who is the Parabrahma Swarupini? Acharya hints here by saying Kwanat Kanchi Dama. She has the Kanchi Dama, the jingling Udyanam adorned in her divine waist, and that is the Devi who is Parabrahma Swarupini. Hence, the sacred city where Ambaal Sri Kamakshi resides is worshipped as Kanchipuram. Kanchi is this divine Udyanam, and the Devi that resides here is Kamakshi. Kamakshi is the Nama that we are worshipping here. Now, there is not just one form of Kamakshi, there are actually 5 Kamakshis called Pancha Kamakshis. Bilakasa Kamakshi. The Bilakasam is the sacred sanctum sanctorum, which is called as Bilakasha, and the Kamakshi that did Avirbhavam in the Bilakasha is Bilakasha Kamakshi. Tapas Kamakshi actually this is the form of Kamakshi. She is doing tapas with one leg, standing on one leg, and she is meditating on Lord Shiva, doing tapas on Lord Shiva, and she is standing on something called as Pancha Agni, 5 Agnis, 4 Agnis on 4 sides and one on the top. Very, very hard tapas, but in order to attain Lord Shiva, Ambaal does tapas. So the tapas Kamakshi is the second form of Kamakshi. The third form of Kamakshi is Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam Sri Kamakshi, the Adhishtana Devata, the Moola Vigraha with 4 divine hands. Sri Kanchi Kamakshi. That's the third form of Sri Kamakshi in the Pancha Kamakshis. The fourth form of Kamakshi is the goddess on one side with Saraswathi and the other side with Lakshmi. This is the Utsava Kamakshi. Ambal stands in the center and Saraswati and Lakshmi on either sides. This Utsava Kamakshi gives darshan during the procession around the temple, coming in golden chariot, golden ratha, Utsava Kamakshi. There is another Nama that comes later that worships Utsava Kamakshi as Samara Ramavani Savya Dakshina Sevita. So Utsava Kamakshi is the fourth Kamakshi, and the fifth Kamakshi is Bangaru Kamakshi. Bangaru means gold, golden Kamakshi. The Ambaal came from the Moola Vigraha Kamakshi, and this form of Kamakshi is Bangaru Kamakshi. So Bilakasa Kamakshi, Tapas Kamakshi, Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam, Adhishtana Shri Kamakshi, Utsava Kamakshi with Saraswathi and Lakshmi on either side, and then Bangaru Kamakshi. So there are five Kamakshi forms called Pancha Kamakshi. Now, Sri Kamakshi is very, very sacred, and Acharya Mookar gets the divine darshan of goddess Kamakshi, and as soon as the pratyaksha darshana of Kamakshi Devi, Acharya Mookar immediately he reigns, he pours out 500 shlokas stuti on goddess Kamakshi, and they are called as Mooka Panchashati. Pancha means 5, Shati means Shatam means 100, so Panchashati means 500. Mookar is the Acharya who could not talk or hear, but with Kamakshi Devi's Anugraha, the Acharya Mookar bestows Mooka Panchashati. There are 500 slokas in this. Each is divided into 100 slokas. Each 5 chapters. It's called Shatakam. Arya Shatakam, 100 slokas that worship Ambaal as Arya. Arya means one who is the greatest. So 100 shlokas to describe and worship goddess as the greatest. Pada Ravinda Shatakam, 100 shlokas to worship the Pada Ravinda, the divine lotus feet. Stuti Shatakam, the 100 shlokas to do the stuti or the divine prayer, because Kamakshi is a Maha Mantram. Kataksha Shatakam, not even the eyes, but the kataksham is that corner of the eyes, right? The corner glance of the eyes, that itself is so powerful. Then imagine the power of Ambaal's eyes. So Acharya worships here Kataksha Shatakam, the power of the kataksham of Sri Kamakshi. 100 shlokas on that, and then Mandasmita Shatakam are 100 shlokas on the Ambaal's gentle smile. Mandasmitam, it's the very gentle smile. So Arya Shatakam, Padaravinda Shatakam, Stuti Shatakam, Kataksha Shatakam, and Mandasmita Shatakam, 100 in total. 500 shlokas extolling the grace of goddess Kamakshi is very, very important work on Sri Kamakshi that everybody has to recite. Then there is an interesting quote in the Bhashyam on how this Kamakshi Nama came into being. So, Bhashyam has a very special shloka that says, it is Brahmadeva who did Namakaranam, who gave us the divine Maha Mantram of Sri Kamakshi. Let's look at the shloka that stated in the Bhashyam. Sarvagnya Sakshi Bhavena तत्तत् कामन पूरयेत् तं दृष्ट्वा चरितं देव्या ब्रह्मलोक पितामह कामाक्षी इति तथा नाम ददौ कामेश्वरी इति च सर्वज्ञ साक्षी भावेन by being sakshi, all knowing, she who is the sakshi for everything. Brahma is doing the stuti and giving the shloka by being the sakshi, all knowing. Tattat kamana purayet. Ambaal fulfills everybody's desires. Kamana purayet. Ambaal fulfills each and every one of our desires. Tam drishtva charitam devya. Seeing the nature of the goddess being fulfilling everybody's desires or kamas. Brahmaloka Pitamaha, Lord Brahmadeva, the creator of all the worlds, the Pitama. What does Brahmadeva does? He gives us a very great bhagyam. He gives us the Namakarana, the Maha Mantram to all of us, so we can do Japam. Kamakshi iti tata nama dadau. Brahmadeva gives the Nama called Kamakshi. Kamakshi has Akshi, Kama Akshi, the very powerful Maha Mantram, and that is bestowed by Brahmadeva. And then the Bhashyam also goes on to say Kameshwari Iticha. He also gave her the Nama Kameshwari. So Kamakshi and Kameshwari are two Namas that are bestowed as Namakaranam by Lord Brahma. So we have to worship Lord Brahma and thank Lord Brahma for giving us this Maha Mantram of Kamakshi. Kamakshi, Kama Akshi. Aksham means eyes. Kamaniyatvat Kamakshi. She Kamakshi has very beautiful eyes. This is not like everybody's laukik eyes that we have. Ambal's eyes fulfills everyone's desires. With the karuna in her eyes itself, just her kataksham itself will bestow all that anybody desires. That's the power of Ambal's karuna kataksham. Hence, Ambal is worshipped as Kamakshi. Now, Kama Akshi is Kamakshi, the deity who has Kama. Kama is she, Kameshwara, the Lord Shiva himself as her eyes is goddess Kamakshi. That's another interpretation. And the deity who bestows all the Kama, all of our desires, is also Kamakshi. There are various interpretations for this Nama. Then there is a very special interpretation saying Kama Akshi. Aksham means eyes. The deity who has Ka and Ma as her Aksham. Ka is goddess Saraswati. Brahmadeva's consort, Sri Saraswati, is Ka. Ma is Sri Mahavishnu's consort, goddess Sri Mahalakshmi. So Ka, Saraswati, and Ma, Mahalakshmi, are her two Akshams. So Ka, Ma, Akshi, who has Saraswati and Lakshmi as her eyes, is Kamakshi. That's the next very special interpretation given in the Bhashyam for the Nama Kamakshi. Now, Ambar Sri Kamakshi is also the Kula Devata of Ikshvaku dynasty. Maharaja Dasaratha desperately wanted Santana Bhagyam. At that time, he prayed to goddess Kamakshi and did a very special stotra. The stotra is called Dasaratha Krita Kamakshi Stotra. The details of this Dasaratha Krita Kamakshi Stotra is mentioned in Brahmanda Mahapurana, composed by sage Vedavyasa. In this Mahapurana, Brahmanda Purana, the 39th Adhyayam describes Kanchi Kamakshi's Devi Varnana, and the 40th Adhyayam is Kanchipura Mahatmya. In that 40th Adhyaya, Slokas 124 to 129, the 6 Slokas are especially composed by King Dasaratha. Maharaja Dasaratha worshipped goddess Kamakshi seeking Putra Prapti. Ambaal came in King Dasaratha's dream and instructed King and the Queen Kausalya to bathe in Kampa River. Kampa River is in Kanchipuram, and then do a very special yajna. Only after getting the blessings of goddess Kamakshi, Ayodhya's King Dasaratha performed Putra Kameshti yajna. Only then, as the yajna palan, king receives the special prasadam. And Ambaal's anugraham, Ambaal Sri Kanchi Kamakshi's Anugraham blessed the entire Ikshvaku dynasty to prosper. In that, Sri Mahavishnu himself came to be born as Sri Rama. And Sri Rama became the son of Dasaratha. That's the power of goddess Kamakshi. So the entire Ikshvaku Kula prospered because of goddess Kamakshi's Anugraha. Kamakshi Devi is the bestower of Santana Bhagyam Putra Prakti. So hence very, very special mention is made here about Dasaratha doing this very special stuti called Dasaratha Krita Kamakshi Stotra. So Vamsa Vriddhi Santana Bhagyam Putra Prapti is bestowed by goddess Kamakshi. Now, all over the universe, we know that goddess is worshipped with various different names. When we go to each state, Ambal has a very special name in that state. When we go to very special regions, each name, Kulja Bhavani, there are so many Akhilandeshwari. There are so many namas in each of the states and each of the locations. But here in Sri Lalitha Sahasranama, Vasinyadi Vak Devatas has specially bestowed us Ambal's Sri Kamakshi Nama, because Ambar Sri Kamakshi is Sri Vidya Swarupini. Sri Lalita Maha Tripura Sundari is Sri Kanchi Kamakshi. And that is the reason why Vasinyadi Vak Devatas are specially giving us this Maha Mantram of the Nama Kamakshi. Ambaal's Avirbhavam from Chidagni Kundam. If you recollect, it is to fulfill Deva Karyam. If you recollect the Namas, Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta, Deva Karya Samudyata. Who is coming out of Chidagni Kundam? Ambaal. Sri Kamakshi is coming out of Chidagni Kundam. Why did she come out of Chidagni? To fulfill Deva Karyam, Deva Karya Samudyata. So, and that is the reason, because Ambaal is Parabrahma Swarupini, Sri Vidya Swarupini, and this Lalita Sahasranama is Sri Vidya. That is the reason why Vasinyadi Vak Devatas have described this Nama Kamakshi. So let us all repeatedly chant this Nama, a Maha Mantram, Kamakshi, and get drenched in Ambaal's Karuna Kataksham. As Acharya Mookar states in Stuti Shatakam, Kamakshyah Karuna Kataksha Lahari Kamaya me Kalpatam. Ambaal's Karuna Kataksham. Everybody, let's all chant Kamakshi, 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 and get drenched in Ambaal's Karuna Kataksham. That is this Nama Kamakshi. As next steps with Acharya's blessings, let's review the next Nama in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Loka Samasta Shukino Bhavantu. Thank you so much, everyone.